Hello dear students, myself Mrs. Charu Kohli, your economics teacher. Today we are going to study the second chapter of class 11th statistics. As you all know, we are in the continuation of this chapter. Today we are going to take the topic methods of collection of data. There are two methods to collect the data. First method is the primary method called as method of collecting primary data. The second method is the secondary method to collect data, which is called as secondary data, method of secondary data. Now, to collect primary data, there are various methods. First of all, let us have a look on the names of the methods. First, direct personal investigation. Second, indirect oral investigation. Third, information from local sources or correspondents. Fourth, information through filling questionnaires and schedules. It includes further two methods. First, the mailing method. Second, the enumerators method. And last but not the least, to collect primary data, the method is telephonic interview. Now we are going to understand these methods one by one. Take a look on the first method, that is direct personal investigation. Under this method, the data is collected directly by the investigator. What did I said? I said the data is collected directly by the investigator. Therefore, the name of this method is direct personal investigation. In this method, investigator as you all know is a person who collects information, will go to the direct person from which he has to collect the data. And he will contact that person, he will meet that person, he will have an interview with that person, and he will collect the matter required from that person directly. This data is very useful. How? Because the data collected under this method is full of accuracy, because investigator himself has collected that data. But apart from the positive point, there is negative points also. The negative point includes that this method cannot be applied to a very large area at a time, because investigator is going directly to one person and collecting the data. So at a time, or in a month or 2 months or little bit more longer period, how much a data can visit and how many persons can a person contact. So this method is not very useful for a large area to collect the data. And sometimes personal bias can also be there. Means if I am the investigator and I am going to a person to collect the data and that person does not likes me, so whatever the information he will provide, that information will not be accurate. Therefore, there are demerits also of this data. So this is all about direct personal investigation. Coming on to the second method, that is indirect oral investigation. In this method, the data is collected indirectly. Means person, that is the investigator, is not contacting with the correct person. He is contacting with the person nearby him. You can say any witnessee, any relative, any neighbor. Means investigator is collecting information from the related person, and investigator is not directly contacting the person. So whenever the information is collected from relatives, neighbors, witnesses, under that method, it is called as indirect oral investigation, because there is an indirect method in it. Directly data is not collected. Fine. So now if this data also has got positive and negative points. If we talk about positive points, you can cover large number of people at a single time. In that particular area, you are not contacting the main persons. From the relatives or various persons, you can get various numbers of information. But again, this also has got a personal bias and the problems. Because if witnessee or a relative or a friend will not be a good friend of the exact informant, then he will not provide the exact or actual data. So this method too, it has got demerits. But positive part is that you get the information from the related person also. So this is indirect oral investigation. Coming on to the third method, that is information from local sources or correspondence. This is the method in which investigator appoints certain persons for getting information, and he will send those persons to their native places, from where they belong, from where they have their original homes, their residence, from their local places. So whenever the data is collected by the person, by the investigator, through its persons, through its investigators, other investigators, from their local sources, that method is used under this. Sometimes the data is collected related to, you can say, birth rate, death rate, or about people living in a particular area. So when we talk about the people living in Delhi, so the person who is living in Delhi will be able to collect that data easily, as he will be knowing the places, he will be knowing some persons, and the visiting areas is going to be very easy for that person to collect the data. So it can be, so on this happens in this method. Again, there are positive points in this method, that the known person is going to the exact place and collecting the data. But the demerit is also there. It is also not free from demerits. And the biggest demerit of this method is that the person who is going to collect the data will not give his best to collect the data. What he will do? Among the 30 days of his work, 25 days or 20 days he will be at his own place. And for the 10 days he will go and collect the data. And rest of some data will be accurate, and rest of the data can be estimated. So this also has demerits, this method. But when we talk about these three methods, they all are expensive also. How? Because investigator himself is going, investigator is sending his own persons working under him to collect the data, and these all things require, they are expensive. This is the expensive method to collect the data. Means when person will go to some other place, he will stay, he won't convince also, he wants to, money also in his hands for day-to-day expenditures to reach to that person. So it is very expensive. So this was all about the first three methods. Coming on to the fourth one, that is the primary data collected from the method called information through filling questionnaires and schedules. Means under this method, information is gathered using questionnaires and schedules. So to understand this method, first of all we have to understand what are questionnaires and what are schedules. Now, questionnaires is a set bank of questions prepared on the basis of the topic or the matter for which investigation is done. Means जिस चीज़ के लिए इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया जाता है उस चीज़ से रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चनियर प्रिपेयर किया जाता है. क्वेश्चनियर होता है सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू दैट टॉपिक. ठीक है, तो उस स्टेटमेंट को या उस डॉक्यूमेंट को जो जिसमें क्वेश्चंस होते हैं उसे क्वेश्चनियर कहा जाता है. जो ये क्वेश्चनियर बनता है दैट शुड हैव सर्टेन क्वालिटीज. First of all, that questionnaire should be clear. Means each and every question in that questionnaire should be clear. It should have less number of questions and such questions which can compile the entire information required. Secondly, they should be in simple language which the person, informant or respondent can easily understand. Fine. Next, then the question should not be like that, which should create the problem or which can be which have debates. जिसके ऊपर डिबेट हो जाए, ऐसा क्वेश्चन नहीं होना चाहिए. तो फिर जब क्वेश्चनियर बन जाता है तो उसका क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन भी होना चाहिए. जब हम क्वेश्चनियर प्रिपेयर करते हैं तो प्री टेस्टिंग इज ऑल्सो देयर, कि उसे पहले टेस्ट कर लेते हैं किसी पे, एंड दैट प्री टेस्टिंग इज कॉल्ड एज पायलट सर्वे. Pilot survey is a technique of pre-testing any questionnaire. Fine. So questionnaire should be like that. The questionnaire also should contain small questions, the objective questions. Say questions related to with the answers of which can be in form of yes and no, true and false, one word answers, or objective MCQs types. So these type of questions are easy for any person to read it and do it. If we are going to give a collective and a long answers to write, then the informant or respondent will not take interest in doing that. So questionnaires are prepared for collecting the information. Now what are schedules? Schedules are the same documents. What had happened, this schedule word is going to come in the enumerators method here, which I will discuss there, because it is going to have a direct link. Otherwise the word, the meaning of the schedule word is going to repeat here. So we are going to do this word in this method. Coming on to the first method, this I told you that this method also has further two methods. First is the mailing method and second is the enumerators method. Now the mailing method. Mailing means to mail. So what do we do? Whatever the questionnaires are prepared, investigator mail that questionnaire to the informant or the respondent. Investigator क्या करता है? उसको post कर देता है, mail कर देता है questionnaire को, जिनसे information gather करनी होती है. ठीक है? तो under this method, how this process take place? There two envelopes are taken by the investigator. In one envelope, he writes his own address. Fine. And in the second one, he writes the address of the person to whom that mail has to be sent. Okay. So the main packet is the packet or the address of where it has to go. Inside that, he puts one more envelope with his address and a copy of questionnaire. Locks it, then mail it. पोस्ट में डाल दिया. ठीक है, तो इसे कहते हैं मेल करना. तो होता क्या है, जो रिस्पोंडेंट है या इन्फॉर्मेंट है वो उसे खोलेगा, पढ़ेगा, सॉल्व करेगा. सॉल्व करने के बाद उसे तकलीफ नहीं होगी. उसके बाद एनवेलप और टिकट वगैरह उसमें लगा हुआ सब है रेडी. ही विल जस्ट गोइंग टू पुट इन दैट एनवेलप जो इनसाइड रखा हुआ था उसके अंदर डालेगा और उसको सीधा पोस्ट कर देगा. उसका कोई खर्चा नहीं होगा, उसे ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं लगाना है टिक करने में या आंसर्स को सॉल्व करने में. ठीक है, वो पोस्ट कर देगा. दैट पैकेट विल कम बैक टू द इन्वेस्टिगेटर एंड द इंफॉर्मेशन विल बी ईजी टू गैदर. तो अब मेरे जो इन्वेस्टिगेटर के पास इंफॉर्मेशन आएगी, ऑब्वियसली आई जस्ट हैव टू रीड इट. इन्वेस्टिगेटर हैज टू रीड इट एंड गैदर द इंफॉर्मेशन. सो दिस इज द वन ऑफ द चीपेस्ट मेथड यूज्ड फॉर कलेक्टिंग डेटा. Coming on to the second method of this, that is enumerators method. First of all, I am going to repeat the word enumerator, which we have studied in our previous classes. Enumerator is the person or is the assistance provider or assistant to investigator. If I am the investigator, so I have one assistant. I am going to send this assistant to collect the data from the informant. Fine. तो ये ट्रेंड पर्सन होता है जो असिस्टेंट होगा, ये इसको हम एन्यूमरेटर कहेंगे. और ये ट्रेंड होगा, इसे पूरा सिखाया जाएगा कि हाउ ही हैज टू गो टू द पर्सन एंड हाउ ही हैज टू कलेक्ट द डेटा. तो व्हाट दिस पर्सन विल डू, ही विल गो टू दैट इन्फॉर्मेंट विद दैट पैकेट in which questionnaire will be there. Fine. He will personally meet that person, the informant, and they both will sit. Enumerator will read the questions and informant will give the answer. Informant will give the answer and enumerator will only record it. So the document in which enumerator gets the information filled, obviously that is a questionnaire only and he is getting it filled. So here in this place, under this method, that document is called schedule. That document is called schedule. So this, when enumerator is collecting the data by himself through a questionnaire, that is schedule, and questionnaire is the exact document which is sent through mail. Fine. So I hope you have understood these two methods in this. Now the biggest drawback in this method is that only the educated persons can give the information through this method. The person who is uneducated or the person who is not interested to fill the data, he will not give the accurate data. क्या करेंगे लोग? खोलेंगे, देखेंगे, किसी से बात कर रहे होंगे, कुछ काम कर रहे होंगे और सीधा जाके टिक करेंगे और अपने आप ऐसे ही बिना पढ़े आंसर्स को फिल कर देंगे. So that the data cannot be accurate. So this is a drawback which investigator can face in this method. And secondly, the most important, जो पढ़ा लिखा नहीं होगा, the person who is not going to be literate will not be able to use this method and give the information. So I hope you have understood this method. Last but not the least, the telephonic interview method under the primary method of primary data, to collect primary data. So this is the method in which the use of technology is there, and the technology is telephone. Means investigator is going to call the exact person, have a discussion on phone, and whatever the information he needs, he take it in through telephonic conversation only. So through this method also the data can be collected. So these are the ways through which the first hand or the primary data is collected. I hope you have understood these methods to collect the primary data. Now we are coming on to the next method, that is the methods to collect secondary data. So this method is further divided into two parts. First part is the published data, second is unpublished data. Means, as you all know, secondary data is the data which is already collected. It is not collected in a new form, it is not the original data. It is already collected and we make use of that originally collected data. So this originally collected data can be published and or can be unpublished. First of all, we are going to discuss about published. Published data means some data which is coming and it is visible to everybody in the economy. Everybody can read it. Everybody has the document in his or her hands. That is published, which we can see, which everybody can see, everybody can read. That is in a published form. So these are the various institutions who collects the data and publish their data. And when they will publish their data, they will give a certain name to that document. The institution are also there, and the institution which take out its journals or reports, that they are also named. So we are going to have some methods here. First of all, we have the publications we have government publications, we have publications of internal bodies, we have semi-official publications, we have reports of committees and commissions, which are again a data. Then we have certain private publications also. And private publications includes journals and newspapers. We all are aware of this. Most of us, we are in a habit of reading magazines, journals, newspapers. Then research institutions have their own data. You can gather data of these institutions. Professional trade bodies, they have their own data. Annual reports of joint stock companies is also presented and sent to every shareholder every year. Then articles and market views and reports which time to time comes in the newspapers and all, they are also a kind of private publications. So these are the secondary data which comes out. I am going to give you some more examples of these. Let us have some more examples of these. So we are going to take the example of government publications first. Now government organization and departments are, as you all know, the central government or the state government, and they take out their own publications, and names of certain publications I am telling you. You have to learn the names of these publications, such as Annual Survey of Industries, Indian Trade Journal, Agriculture Statistics of India, Reserve Bank of India Bulletin, the Labour Gazettes, etc. So these are the names of the documents which gets published by the government departments. Right? So you have to learn the names here. You don't have to go into the detail how they have collected the data. Only names are important for here to understand that yes, these type of journals are there. Coming on to the second one, that is, we are going to take first the semi-official publications. Now semi-official publications are the municipalities and metropolitan councils publish information regarding health, birth, death, education, sanitation, and this source of data is very important for every one of us. So you all know municipalities and the metropolitan councils, They publish this report of birth, death. So you know we have the birth certificates, death certificates. We all get it from there. So these are important documents, and this data is collected by the semi-official government departments. Fine. They are publications when they get published. Okay. Coming on to reports of committees and commissions. We are going to discuss this later. The second one. I am going to taking this part, reports of committees and commission. Various committees and commissions are appointed by the central and the state government for case studies and suggestions, and they publish their own data, and some of the reports of them are report of the Tariff Commission, Patel Commission report, report of Planning Commission, etc. Means whosoever the commissions are there and they publish their own reports, that reports are part of these committees and commissions. Okay. Then publication of international organization, international statistical from organizational publication of different international organizations. Now there are international organizations which are not written here. I am going to discuss one or two more publications of international organizations. Now as you all know, international organizations are ILO, UNO and IMF. Fine. UNO is United Nations Organization, then IMF is International Monetary Fund, World Bank. These also publish their own data, and which is required by the people, and we use them. Okay. Also we have the data from various organizations, research institutions such as Scientific and Economic Research and National Council of Applied Economic Research, here research institutions. So various their reports are published by these institutions. Now I was discussing that, I will talk to this later. This is publications of internal bodies. Internal bodies means the internal departments of the government, of the private sector or the government. They also publish their own data. So that data is also comes in form of reports, and it gives information to us. So ultimate thing, these are the names and the organizations which publish their reports, and we get data from these departments. We don't have to go into the detail of this, only we should know the names of the organizations and the reports which they are publishing. Fine. So this is the secondary data we make use of. I hope you all have understood these names, learn them out. Coming on to the next part of data is the unpublished data. Now unpublished data, what is that data? The data which is not published. You all know every department, every business organizations, every government department, they have certain documents which are related to the within details. Means personal details of any organization or some details of within the organization. That data has no use to the outside world. So that data does not get published. But that is a data that is also getting used by the internal bodies and the internal members of the organization. So that data is called as unpublished data. So this is all about the collection of data from the primary source, that is primary method, and the secondary method. I hope you have understood both the methods, how the data is collected, and learn the names. Thank you everyone.